Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well wherever you are. Hopefully you have your coffee or your tea or your drink or whatever. And we're gonna start chit-chatting as soon as just gonna give it a few minutes. Hello, hello. Welcome. How's everybody? Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate the support. It's TGIS. And God, it's Sherry. All right. So I know that there's been some people that have been covering this case already. This is the first time that I've been looking into it. In all honesty, I saw, hey Georgie girl, I'm good. How are you doing, hun? Hello, my people. Hello, Cajun Kevin. Hey, Amy. Hit the thumbs up on the way in. That would be fabulous. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the support. That's awesome. So we're going to do a couple of stories today, actually, because I really wanted to share a personal one of myself. And then I also really wanted to cover some of the crazy NorCal Rapist stuff. This Roy Charles Waller person, absolutely unbelievable. I just wanted to read a little bit here. So Roy Charles Waller, he was born January 8th, 1960, and he was arrested September 2018. Now, he is, the prime suspect in a crap ton of rapes, you guys, from all the way from 1981 to 2006. So, I mean, huge that we're able to sort of pinpoint and find this guy. And it's really interesting how that happened as well. So I'll get more into that in a minute. But the DNA that they have managed to hold on to, that they're able to sort of pinpoint who these people are, it's really interesting how that's coming across through these DNA sites and stuff like that, these genealogical sites where you want to know your family history and you want to know where you're from, or, some different things that maybe you didn't know about your past or your history, right? So people sending in samples of their DNA gets put into databases. It's voluntary at that point, but they're at that point able to take that and look back and see if you've done anything wrong. And sadly for this guy, he's been caught. And I've said this before, you guys, you might get away with it for a while. You might fool the human race for a while. You might fool the authorities. You might get away with those bad things that you're doing, but it's not going to be forever. And there is a bigger person that's watching and knows everything. So I just think it's kind of interesting that, people this guy's like 60 years old almost, for crying out loud, yet he was doing all these wrong, bad things to women and then just carrying on with his life like he had done nothing wrong. He was living his normal, quiet lifestyle. Meanwhile, the guy was wreaking havoc on women and causing pain left, right, and center all over California, I might add, Northern California. So, whatever, happened that this stopped for some reason, he tried to go on with his life, but I guess he got interested in figuring out who he is and stuff and sent in his DNA. And don't you know it, he was matched up to some of these crimes, So the genealogical site that they used was Ged Match. And, I think it's awesome that they're able to pool together and work with law enforcement in order to catch some of these people who think, I may have done something wrong at one point in my life, but I guess I'm just going to try to go on and live a normal life and not tell anybody about it. Or maybe I've gone to confession and I've confessed it, so it's gone. No, it doesn't work like that, and these women's lives were changed and traumatized forever because of what he did, coming in the middle of the night and raping them, and usually using a weapon. And I mean, like the sheer terror behind something like that, you guys, and then having to let somebody do that to you because you're so scared and you don't know what else to do, and they're forcing themselves on you. I mean, the whole thing is just so devastating, you know. And then the guy just carries on as normal, like he didn't do anything wrong last night, or he didn't, you know. I don't get it. Like I will never understand how people, you know, think that that's okay or whatever. So the Ged Match is an open database, personal geomics database and genealogy website. It's based in Lake Worth, Florida, and the website gained significant coverage in April of 2018 after it was used by law enforcement to identify the suspect of the Golden State Killer. That case was in California, if you remember. So other law enforcement agencies, of course, are taking lead on this. Like, wow, so cool that you guys were able to figure this out in this manner, and now everybody's jumping on it, which is amazing. I'm so glad that they've used this new technology way in order to pinpoint and figure out who these people are, these bad people are, you know, that have maybe decided to turn a new page and they think that that's just over with and that's done. Like, absolutely shocking. Sorry, I've been missing the comments here, guys. I was just like, blah, blah, blah. I will catch up here. Hang on. Hey, Heather, how's it going, hun? Hola, Laura. ¿Cómo estás, amiga? Yes, thumbs up. I love the thumbs up. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, these stories are so crazy, right? I thought he was older than 60. You know, it says he was born January 1960. So I'm going on that, you know, so. But yeah, he did kill and he raped. And I mean, honestly, you know, the fact that he just thought he could get away with turning a new page and going on with life, and that's it, is just shocking. Like, I'm just like, holy crap, as if there's people all around that are probably going through this, or, you know, they've done something wrong and they're just carrying on with life. Like, eventually it'll catch up. It may not even catch up here and now. You know what I mean? This guy went how many years? Like, over 10 years with, you know, without ever nobody ever knocking on his door, nobody ever coming looking for him. You know, he was just never pinpointed because he was probably never arrested. He was never fingerprinted. His DNA was never in the databases, so they had nothing of his to be able to compare it to, you know, up until he decided to turn in his DNA, thankfully. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of another person tripping today for some reason. Well, the man certainly used weapons to fear his female victims while he was raping them. I have not read all the case files, though, Cage and Kevin. So, but regardless, it's a traumatizing event to have to go through. You know, I realize maybe as a man you don't know, but I can tell you as a woman, it is profoundly life-changing when you have somebody just take something like that from you. You're powerless. They've taken all of that from you in that moment. And it's really, really hard as a female to just go on with life after that and act like it never happened, or try to be extra strong because we don't want to show that we're weak and hurt from whatever happened. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Tina Kelly. I don't know, buddy. I'm not, where's my mods? I guess my mods aren't paying attention. Let me just go and remove. Done. Sorry, guys. But it is a huge situation, you know, that many of us have experienced. And I really wanted to touch base on it after hearing, you know, his 43rd or 45th count of charges against him. I mean, the man's continuing to say that he's not guilty, but in all honesty, if they have your DNA, buddy, and you're actually the guilty person, well, good luck with that, because you're probably going to die behind bars now. You know, I laugh because I think it's ridiculous that this person kind of went about his life terrorizing women for a chunk of time here, you guys, from 91 to 06. That's no small amount of time. And then just carried on from 06 all the way to 2018 before he was caught. You know what I mean? Thank God he stopped. But, you know, it's like, now you get to pay. Now you get to, you know, live your life out in prison, you know? Even men find it repulsive? Well, that's good to know. Seriously. DNA does not lie. That is so true. People do. People lie all the time, but DNA does not. That's what I love about all this new technology and stuff like that. All these cameras, these eyes in the sky, the CCTV footage. I mean, we should have been arming ourselves a long time ago. And I think if we could have, if we had that technology, we would have. But, you know, it just wasn't invented yet for those of us that have evolved in this technology time period. It's pretty intense, you know. I mean, I was a kid that we didn't even have computers when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, when I was a little kid, there was no computers. There was typewriters, you know? So it's interesting to see all of these things sort of evolve. Hey, Anne, how you doing? Hello, Veronica. Someone rang your doorbell. That's okay, Laura. No worries, honey. Yeah, I don't know who the Donald Trump guy is. I actually unblocked thinking, oh, maybe that's done with, right? I don't know. They must check back. They must check back. Oh, I can say something again? No, you can't. Clearly you didn't learn your lesson. You were trying to. I beat you. My hair is just kind of whatever. It's kind of messy today. They cannot be reformed, right? I mean, in all honesty, whatever. You know, I think he's just sad he got caught now. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I think he would have just carried on with life and he would have retired whatever he's doing, and, you know, no one would have been none the wiser, kind of thing. Typing class flashbacks, right? That's how we learned, actually. Like, I mean, well, for the first little while, I mean, when I was in high school, we started getting, like, there was computers and stuff by then, right? But like when I was coming into even like 10 to 11 years old, that we started to get them. But when I was a kid under, like, you know, 10, we didn't have those kinds of things, you know? There was all kinds of other little bits of technology for photocopiers and scanning and faxing. And, you know, y'all remember the dial-up and stuff. You know, you had to unplug your phone jack and plug in your computer. And I mean, we've sure come a long way, you know, and it's awesome for real. So waste of your time and whiteout. Yeah. It was, I think it was neat to watch it sort of transition, you know, it's kind of thinking back as to how far we've come. I think it's kind of awesome. And I mean, this new age kind of DNA stuff is amazing. I'm just like, yes, I'm so thankful that they came up with an innovative way to be able to reach backwards and solve some of these, you know, cold cases and these things that have gone wrong around the world, that victims have just remained victims because there was no justice. Like, that sucks. That really sucks. You know what I mean? And he shouldn't get away with it. So, and the noise that it made to connect, right? Exactly. So funny. So funny. Now we're at touch screens, everything, and like, we are so advanced now, right? So I certainly hope that justice can be served now for these ladies that have, you know, lived through all of this for so long. You know, it's not something that you ever really forget about. And I can tell you that from experience. I mean, the pain of it goes away, and, you know, you're able to sort of rebuild your trust with various people and stuff like that. But the act of itself never actually really goes away. You know, it's that thought is sort of always in the back of your head. It's on the back burner. It was something that happened. You try not to leave it on the forefront. You try to deal with it and realize it was a time and a moment in life, and then you trying to move on from it, right? But it is pretty devastating, I have to admit, right? So, I mean, these women, the other thing I wanted to say to you guys as a safety tip is make sure that you're going around and checking your screens and your window locks and stuff, because this was something that he did. He would go around and, you know, slice these things, unlock windows, and then come back later at a time when it was dark and they were sleeping, and it was very quiet and inconspicuous of an entry. But if we are going to constantly check our screens and our doors and our window locks and make sure that we're on top of doing that daily and, you know, maybe multiple times a day to ensure our safety, you know, I think that's a good thing, you know. So I thought, well, we need to share that tip. That's, you know, that was something that I thought we can't be too careful about, right? Like the check inside the ride before you get inside, right? Check inside your ride before you get inside. Same thing for, you know, Samantha Josephson that just recently lost her life trying to use a safe, you know, safe ride or whatever. Like, I just want to spread the awareness so that, you know, we can try to stay as safe as possible. I've said it before that if something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen, right? But I mean, if we're more consciously aware of our surroundings, of our locks, of our screens, and are protecting ourselves, I think we're in a better position at that point. You know what I mean? If you already see that somebody's sliced your window, you may choose to have someone come and sleep over at your house with you that night or something, just to make sure everything is okay. You know, if you're in the US, you might decide to buy yourself a weapon of choice to defend yourself. Shall there ever be an entry that wasn't, you know, that you didn't want, right? So better safe than sorry, right? I mean, honestly, and if we can share and spread these tips and tricks and whatever with everybody that we know, I think that we have a greater chance at staying safe against the evil enemy at that point. You know what I mean? Pay attention when in public, stay off your phone, stay alert. That is very true too. You know what I started doing, you guys, also is not listening to my music on both ears. I will leave one ear open so that I can hear if somebody comes up behind me or anything like that. And I've also started, when I'm crossing a street or something, I'll put the phone away, you know, like I may be on it while I'm approaching the street, but when I'm getting prepared to cross it, I'll actually just put it down, or I'll just hold it by my side. You know, I won't be focusing on my screen at that point. I'm watching where I'm going, because we do want to be aware, you know, and you can't be too careful these days. So thank you, Heather, for liking my point. That's an excellent point too. Stay off the phone and be alert. Well, you don't necessarily have to stay off it, but very much check your surroundings quite frequently. You want to be aware, you know, wherever you're going, who is around you as well, you know? I have to also just state that, you know, the strength that stems from being a victim is intense. Like, I mean, you know, it doesn't mean that nobody's going to hurt you again, and it doesn't mean that you're invincible at that point, but it certainly brings um, a level of strength like no one else has, in a sense. You know, the will that you've survived and you've overcome some type of pain in some way or traumatic experience, it really does sort of profoundly strengthen you. You know what I mean? And as I said, it doesn't mean that you're invincible at that point, but it definitely gives you kind of a leg up after you've been through something traumatic to be more aware. Let's hope that by sharing some of these things, we can prevent that from even happening to somebody, just in the awareness, right? I mean, that would be amazing. Yeah, watch people's hands. That's very true. Yeah, if they intend on harming you, they will be using those hands. Yes, exactly. You do the one ear thing too. Yeah, I think, I used to listen on both ears, and then I just watched too many crimes that had happened, like women jogging and getting pulled off the sidewalk by somebody because they didn't hear them or something like that. Something crazy happened in that moment because they had both in. And it almost doesn't matter if you're listening to like a motivational speaker or if you've got music going on. If you have them both plugged in, let's face it, you're really not paying attention to anything else that's happening around you, or you're not as aware. You might, you could maybe be sitting on a bench very quietly doing that, right? But I mean, even then, you guys, right? You don't want anybody coming up behind you, and you may be able to hear that with one out and one in, Yeah, always keep the car locked. Yeah, that's for sure. Car keys between the fingers is a great way to harm somebody. Absolutely. If you're needing to self-defend, for sure. Always checking your entire car before you get in. Yeah, exactly. I once was almost kidnapped at a bus stop. I had my earphones in, didn't hear him approach me. What saved me is I saw his shadow coming behind me. I looked back. He was about to grab me, so I ran. Wow, that's so scary, Laura. My goodness, girl. I'm glad you're safe. Like, holy cow, that's crazy. So scary. And I feel like it just, it happens so quickly. I've seen some of it on CCTV footage where, someone's kidnapped somebody outside of an airport or whatever, and it's a busy spot, but it happens so fast. You really have to be aware. I actually had uploaded a video about somebody who was chasing down somebody who had successfully was trying to grab somebody. And I mean, it was a scary thing to watch, Of course, they ended up catching up to him and getting his plate and getting him arrested. And I mean, but what a scary situation. It was one less person off the streets like that, but super, super scary. It was the middle of the day too. Yeah, they seem to go for times where it's busy, and I guess everybody's focused on whatever they're doing. They're not necessarily maybe even paying attention. In plain sight, right? Isn't that the thing? So I'm really happy that this guy has been caught, and although he claims to not be guilty, the DNA is not going to lie. And I'm just really thankful that the law enforcement officials in all these various places, let me just read off to you guys where all, hang on here. So the attacks were in Sacramento, Butte, Contra Costa, Solano, Sonoma, and Yolo counties. So a wide range of sort of the Northern California area, which is just scary. You know what I mean? What's interesting, though, is, by May of 2018, the GED Match database had like 929,000 genetic profiles with 7,300 users. Absolutely insane, like a huge amount of potential at that point to catch, the criminal. It's in the middle of the day. This also sounds weird. Sounds hard to go limp like a toddler not wanting to cooperate. Right. I wonder if that would work, though, Anne, or I wonder if fighting back would be more appropriate. After that, I was always alert and ready. I walked around with a knife and homemade shank my brother made me. That's crazy. Wanted me to be safe. Yeah. Yeah, better to be safe for sure. So a personal story that I really wanted to share with you guys is I really wanted to share the time that God sort of intervened in my personal life. I was really young. I was, well, not really young. I was a young woman. I was 18 years old. And, you know, I mean, he had literally intervened in my life to stop a decision that I was trying to make that, you know, in all honesty, wasn't really a positive, good decision regardless. So this happened in 1997, you guys. And, you know, I just found out that I was pregnant, and the father was like a crazy guy, you know, and I really wasn't sure if I should go through with the pregnancy. You know, I was really concerned about whether or not I'd be able to be a mother at such a young age. And if with a crazy father, I was like, I don't know if I could do this alone. And I was really concerned. And I thought you know, I'm against abortion, but I thought for the first time when I was 18 there, maybe I should, you know, I should not go through with this decision. It was already April. It was melting. It was beautiful, beautiful weather, you guys. And I thought, okay, you know, I'm already almost, you know, over my first trimester. And, you know, it was coming down to crunch time of either make a decision that you're going to abort or make a decision to, you know, be a single mother, because I was sure that I couldn't count on him. Right. So I decided after talking to a bunch of friends that I was going to make this appointment, and you know, I was going to go and talk to the abortion doctor and figure out what my options were. So on April 5th, I had made my appointment, and you know, it started to snow. I didn't really concern myself too much because, I mean, whatever. We'd often gotten weather where everything had melted, and then suddenly we got a snowfall or whatever, and you know, the next day it was all melted again, kind of thing. But this snowfall was different and seemed to be pretty heavy. All right. And like, honestly, it really didn't take long before I thought we might have an issue getting to this appointment. Now, I lived all the way across town from the doctor's office. You know, there was no way that I was going to be able to walk this distance. We had a vehicle. And so, you know, I had just thought, well, we'll just have to plow through. We have a truck. We're going to plow through. We're going to go to this appointment. The next morning after I made this appointment, the receptionist told me, like, if you don't make it in for this appointment, don't even bother calling us back, because we're not going to, you know, be able to reschedule you. You're already too far along, and we don't think that we're going to be able to do this, you know? And so honestly, you guys, I went to sleep and I knew it was snowing and I didn't think it was that bad. I woke up in the morning and the entire city of Winnipeg was shut down. There was no vehicles moving. Houses were completely covered with snow, like drifts of like, I got some pictures because I went online to look at some things again, just reminiscing about how, you know, some various choices sort of affect you throughout life, right? So obviously I didn't make it for the appointment, right? But and so, like, because of what the woman had said, you know, there was no rescheduling that, right? So it was just destined that I was going to be having this, you know, this child, which ended up being my first. So hopefully I can get that to focus for you, and you can see the guy standing there and how tall that snow is right there. And that's just one area, one spot. It was like that on the entire city. I'm going to find more here. Look at this one. Let's see if I can't get it to focus. Come on, you can do it. Look at that one where the tractor is just like the snow is so much higher than that freaking tractor. It's just deadly, right? So there was no getting around. The entire city was completely shut down. Here's a house with the stop sign in front of it. You can see the snow all the way up to the stop sign. Brutal, right? But it was basically God saying, you know what? You are not aborting this child. You are against abortion, remember? And, you know, I was basically sort of not really forced, but I guess, right? I mean, he was like, no, you were doing this. And I became a mother at a very young age, not being able to get out of my place to go to the appointment that I had set up to make the bad decision that I was about to try to make. Now I have a 22-year-old beautiful son who's amazing as far as I know. And yeah, it's all like water under the bridge now. But that ended up causing, that snowfall caused like the flood of the century for Grand Forks and Fargo and, you know, Winnipeg. I mean, there was all kinds of flood. It was crazy. How did I get here? B. Galindo. Looks like Antarctica, right? And it's only Manitoba, Canada. So crazy, crazy, crazy snowfall. I could not believe how much snow. It was honestly like 50 centimeters that fell. So, I mean, it was just ridiculous. Hey, Miri, how are you? We're just randomly chatting about different things. We started talking about the NorCal Rapist, and then I told a little personal story. Some of you guys have maybe heard it before, but I wanted to share a few pictures with it this time, you know? Hello, B. Galindo. So, yeah, very interesting, right? How life sort of pans out, plays out. You try to make some decisions sometimes, and sometimes there's a higher power involved saying, nope, you're going to, you know, I'm making a decision kind of thing. So, pretty interesting anyway. Anybody else have any questions at all today? This is kind of a really unstructured live today, in all honesty. Has any of my viewers done the genealogy sort of, you know, the ancestry.com or anything like that? Suppose. Oi, Sivra. That's funny. You love the color. Oh, of the lipstick. Oh, thank you. I did like a kind of a purple outline on the outside this time. Switch it up a bit, you know? But I have a feeling I might just put my hair up already because I'm getting frustrated with it. You did what? B. Galindo. It said my dad and my mom, which was what? Who said that? Oh, the ancestry. You're hilarious. Yeah, right. You're hilarious. That's funny. Right, Laura? That's what I was thinking. Seriously. I actually have thought about doing it though, you know. I know that I don't have anything in my past that would, you know, there's whatever. That's not something I need to worry about, you know. I just think it's kind of ironic that there are people out there that know they've done bad shit in the past and yet they're sending in their DNA themselves. Like the Golden State Killer, same thing. Like, you know, you kind of got what's coming to you and you thought you got away with that, didn't you? You know, justice will be served and prevail and the truth will set you free. Yeah, and the take on the Samantha Josephson, absolutely poor girl. I have said this, you know, slogan to you guys before. Check inside before you get inside. You don't want to just jump into somebody's vehicle. And this was a prime sort of horrific moment to sort of share that awareness. And as hard and horrible as that is, it just should be sort of our protocol and our policy inside in order to keep yourself a little bit more safe, right? Just check inside before you get inside. Although now that, you know, this has happened, they're making it mandatory to have signs that are, you know, they are visible from like 50 feet away, something probably glowing or something on a magnetic something for your door. I don't know, but it's going to be something that's legislated so that this doesn't hopefully happen ever again. You're funny. You don't want them to clone you? Oh man. I don't know. You're funny, Amy. I don't know about that. I think they'd need a lot more than just DNA, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on that kind of stuff. So what's up with the title subject? I live in the Bay Area, North California. So we were talking about the NorCal Rapist, Roy Charles Waller, who's been caught now. He was arrested September 2018. So you've not heard about this? It's really interesting, in my opinion, because of the fact that, you know, he sort of sent in his own DNA or whatever. But he was born, it says January 8th, 1960. He was arrested September 2018. He's a suspect in a series of more than 10 rapes between 1991 and 2006 in Northern California after DNA evidence from crime scenes were matched on Ged Match to a relative of Waller, the same way the Golden State Killer suspect was arrested. Police then construed a family tree and, using the known characteristics of the rapist, narrowed the suspects down to Waller. It took a little more than a week to identify and arrest the suspect. He was charged with a total of 45 counts, we're at now, which took place in different counties, including Sonoma, Solano, Contra Costa, Yolo, and Butte. I'm not sure how to say that. I'm probably butchering all the names, in all honesty. I'm really not that good with names. But yeah, the man's like, you know, 60 years old kind of thing, 59. It's brutal that he's got 27 victims, you know, ranging in the span from 91 to 06 is just brutal. Those are all close to you? That is so scary, seriously. Although you being a man, I'm sure you don't really have much to worry about. He went after women, but still, you know. Yeah, I'm glad he got caught too, you know, and I'm sure that the women victims that are involved with this are very glad that he was finally caught. Can you imagine going through all this time and never having justice for what happened? Like that's like, you know, having a constant open wound, in my opinion, that just never gets to heal, you know? You have a daughter that this stuff bugs you. That's awesome, you know, that that it bugs you enough that you're coming in to make that, you know, make that point, you know? And hopefully you're able to protect her or teach her how to protect herself through various tips and stuff. Are you in Canada or are you in the US? I'm just curious. 45 counts. I know, right, Amy? Brutal, right? But B. Galindo, you're in the US, right? Okay. So, you know, I don't know what your personal feelings are on the whole gun laws and stuff like that, but like I recently watched, I don't know where it was, but there was CCTV footage that was being played on TV, and it was, you know, a man that was quickly trying to approach this small girl, which she was just a tiny young girl, right? But she happened to have a gun on her, and she shot him, and he went down, you know. So I think that if you are able to instill the gun safety, the rules and regulations that are surrounded by that, constitutional amendment law that you have, then that's a really good thing. You're pro-gun, well, that's really good. So that means that you're probably teaching her how to handle it, how to, because I mean, it's not guns that are killing people, it's people that are killing people. And I get that. We just don't have those kinds of constitutional laws and rights and stuff like that here in Canada. So it is a little bit different. But I think that, it would have been an awesome thing to be able to have that opportunity to be able to defend yourself, but that the complications that probably come from even firing discharging a firearm is probably, kind of huge consequentially, right? Our government can't be trusted, not even your neighbors can be trusted now. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, you have the open carry in Texas. So and I've heard a lot from the US folks that it's not as like you're not pro to use it so quick. You're not quick to jump to it and stuff because there is sort of consequences. You have to have good reason to be using it and stuff like that, right? I mean, otherwise there is consequences to it. It's sad though that things are sort of getting to that point where nobody's trusting anybody and people are just brutally fighting against each other, It's sad. But yeah, you're definitely one up if you can help her on how to handle that, how to clean it, how to use it, how to be self-aware and to protect herself with it if she needed to. It's a good thing. I'm just gonna grab a coffee. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Hey, Lisa. My daughter will have a cute pink 45 for her 18th birthday. That is so cute. I mean, oh my goodness. Love it. Seriously, love it. I've actually perused looking at guns in the past, you know, like, because they're so pretty. They make them so like dainty out there in the States, you know. I've seen some awesome, amazingly cute guns for sure. Most of my neighbors are cool and we kind of watch out for each other, but we all know the neighbors we give the side eye to. Oh man, I'm the nosy one giving the side eye myself. Like, what's going on? Hello, Salome. My dad refused to teach me how to use a gun. I'm now 41 and still never shot one. He has his guns, but he didn't want me to ever use one. I'm definitely on the pro gun side, however. Well, interesting. I bet you in the US you'd be able to find a place that could teach you, though, if that's not something that he wants to do. But it might be a nice bonding moment if he is willing to teach you, that you're able to maybe approach him now as a grown-ass woman and be like, hey, you know, I would really love for you to teach me your expertise and stuff. Maybe it could be a bonding moment, you know? But if he still doesn't want to at 41 years old, honey, I'd be going and getting myself some training elsewhere for someone who can teach me how to be, you know, safe with it at all times or whatever, right? Heather, come to Southern Illinois. Pretty much any of us can teach you. That's awesome. Nice, Lisa. Nice. Cute. Little pink extended clip sticking out of it. Very cute. Yes. I don't think you missed very much, honey. No, you're good. You're good, Amy. Sounds beautiful. My daughter-in-law got a teal colored one for her birthday from my son. Wow. That is super cute. I bet you they have all kinds and colors now. Teal colored gun. Yeah, that does sound cute, hey? You prefer pastel seafoam over teal? You're funny, V. Galindo. You almost can't help but slurp the first couple sips, eh? Yeah, I'm a grown-ass woman, right? Teach me how. Now. Fun fact, I just went through police academy. Shot a 40 Glock. Nice. Very nice. Did it have a lot of kickback or not so much? Stephanie Herb says, I'm grateful we didn't have a gun in my house when I was a teenager. When I was in my teenager's years, I was suicidal and likely wouldn't be here today. Yeah, well, yeah. I think we've all gone through those phases a little bit where you're down and out and you don't understand why you're here and you don't understand your purpose and, you know, you feel like maybe you shouldn't be here. You know, I've gone through it myself as a teenager, so I totally can relate. But I am happy that you're here, Stephanie. Yeah, the depression meds certainly help take you off of that path. You know what I mean? It's not gonna, if you are medicating, it's far less likely that it's going to happen, is what I'm trying to say, you know? Yeah, thank goodness, no doubt. Pretty impressive that you know all your colors like that, pastel, seafoam, and teal. Laura is impressed. That's funny. Ironically, my husband has 3 locked up in our home. Nice. It's always important to keep an eye on our kids when we have them. Yeah, that's true. Like we had guns in my house growing up, but I mean they were locked up, then they were used for hunting, and they were rifle guns. So it wasn't like something small that you could get your hands on and really even necessarily use like that. With the barrel as long as it is on a shotgun or the rifle guns, you guys, like it wouldn't have been very easy to do something like that, you know? And in Canada, you're allowed to have guns for hunting and stuff, but you have to have your guns separate, locked up away from your ammunition and stuff as well. So those rules and laws are always sort of followed in our house. The only time that the gun ever really came out was when my dad was going hunting. And there was one time when I was, 19 years old after having my first boy, my first baby, and his father, the crazy freak that he is, he phoned and threatened saying that he had a shotgun and he was coming down to kill me because I wouldn't let him see the baby because he was a freaking freak, fruit nut, whatever. So, because of the threat, we of course came together as a family. And I remember, the rifle gun sitting on the table, and my mom was on the phone with the police saying, like, he says he's coming down here. What do we do if this guy shows up with a freaking gun? And the police here told her to do what you got to do in order to defend your family. And that was it. So he never showed up, and nothing ever happened. Thankfully, we didn't have to use ours, and he didn't show up with his, supposedly. So all was well. That was sort of back when we were beginning to try to have a relationship as a family again. I had come out of foster care. I, was living on my own. I was working for myself, and now I was pregnant for the first time. And it was almost like my mom had sort of kicked into protection mode or something, especially knowing and hearing the violent answering machine messages from my ex and how he was going to kill me and he was going to kill the baby and he was going to shoot me in the stomach and all this crazy talk. The guy was just off the wall. My mom sort of kicked into protection mode, and I ended up staying with them for like a couple months, just waiting to get into my new townhouse. It was still like transitioning to get there, and the other people that were living there moving out and stuff like that. We had a move-in date, so my mom just felt like it was better to have me at the house. That was the only time I went back home, actually. When they had signed me away at 15 years old, it was at 18, 19 there when I had my baby that I was allowed back home for a little while, and then the relationship deteriorated and fell apart again, and I can't even pinpoint why or where that happened. But I mean, because even when I left and moved out into the townhouse, everything was still fine. Yet the relationship just seemed to dwindle apart, and we never talked. And they never came to visit and see the baby, and they didn't want to take the baby for me to go out and do things. They were like, if you can't take your baby with you, you shouldn't be going. And our relationship deteriorated slowly but surely into nothing. But I remember having the guns around in a sense, just not in the same sense that you guys have it. Scares you about guns getting into the hands of the kids. That's why gun safety is important to educate everybody. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, my neck and back are just freaking killing me lately. Oh, Lord Jesus, please give me strength and take this pain away. Oh my goodness, seriously. Weapons are just another way to teach your children responsibility. Just like driving a car, they should run people. They could run people over too. Yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, yeah, no, you should be teaching your kid at every chance that you got, a chance, right? Lisa says, our kids grew up with guns and we teach them safety. Then when they're old enough to take a hunter safety course to get a hunting license. Okay. No, that's intelligent too, for sure. Miri says, my ex threatened our daughter with a gun when she was only 17, which is why he's my ex. Well, that's very smart of you. In all honesty, good for you. My son will start driving this year. I have made it very clear to him that the vehicle is a loaded weapon. That's really true for himself as well as other people around him, right? Yeah, but that's crazy, Miri. But good for you for standing up to that and saying that is not tolerated, and you just put the straw on the camel's back that broke it, you know? Niece and nephew would line up, take turns with me, teaching them shooting my 22 pistol at a target. Nice. I actually used to go archery shooting and do target practice with a bow and arrow when I was younger. That was fun because my dad did do hunting through archery as well as rifle. So but that's really, really important to teach your teenagers, I believe, you know? Yeah, pain sucks. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate your prayers. Seriously. He's right. I liked how he put it. Never thought of it like that. Only thing I can shoot is a slingshot. My dad had me and my bro throwing hatchets and knives. Oh, man. You got to have some good aim to do that because you have to be able to get that blade into the target area without it hitting the wall and coming back at you, right? That's funny. Reminds me of darts, right? Slingshots could be dangerous. Yeah, that's true. Tree stump with paper. Stand way back. That's okay, though. Why is the word rapist in the title of the video? Because we were talking about the NorCal Rapist that was recently arrested September 2018 after, you know, so intelligently seeking his ancestry, his genealogical history. So, Mr. Singh, that's what we were discussing, was the fact that this person has now like 45 counts of rapes that he subjected women to during from 1991 till 2006 before he was arrested in 2018. So amazing how we've gotten some technology that can reach that far back to criminals who've just forgotten that they were criminals at one point. They just forgot, or they just stopped being a criminal and thought, that's good enough. I've terrorized enough people. I don't need to carry on. I'm going to go and get married now, and I'm going to go and have some kids, and I'm going to have a wife and a house and a dog and a white picket fence. Meanwhile, I just raped 10 women over the last, 20 years, but whatever. What an idiot. What an idiot. Like, I am so glad that he was so stupid that he was able to be caught. Because, I mean, in all honesty, I don't even understand how mentally you could do that. Just forget that you were a rapist for 20 years and go on and live your life like a normal man. What an idiot. Do I like talking about politics? No, not really. Sorry. Wrong room. Such people are a burden on society. I completely agree, but I find it mind-boggling that he could just go about, his life like he never did anything wrong. So why is rapist in the title? Because we were talking about one, but this is also a live chat, so we talk about a lot of different things. We bounce back and forth. Wrong room. Oh, boy. Oh, must have slipped his mind. Yeah, exactly. Right, Lisa? ugh. Like, I just seriously I don't get it. But no, I'm not from the USA. I'm from Canada. Now we're discussing weapons, where to hide their bodies. Absolutely. No, in all honesty, we'll let the judicial system take care of that and whatever punishment God sees fit, right? He might be jailhouse justice. I hear that he's getting a ton of threats and he's been moved around all over the place because of it. But I guess that's what happens when you live your life as a rapist. For real. Do I believe in reincarnation? Yeah. With Jesus. Do I believe that a rapist could go to jail and come out and suddenly he's reformed? No, I'm not so sure. I'm pretty sure if things are still working, that he'd go about misusing his tools. And no, like I don't think they can be reformed. You know, I think that's what you mean is reform, not reincarnation. I don't know though. Maybe you're going holy. I don't know. This escalated quickly. Oh, that's hilarious. Hilarious. You're funny. Too funny. Well, I am just super like, thankful for the technology and how far it's come. All the scientists and the people that are inventing these kinds of things, all of those, smart tech whizzes that are thinking of the next step, the one that's, hopefully one ahead of the bad guys, right? I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Rapist chat full of a bunch of pro-gun women. Oh, boy. Hey, David. How are you? Hello, David Wise. You've been for a couple minutes. You already have to pee. Yeah, you're funny, Alan Hughes. No. Just needed some water. I think my next new name is going to be Dennis the Menace. Denise the Menace instead of Dennis. You're funny. Artificial intelligence will help for the future. I totally agree. But I mean, that being said, you guys, the artificial intelligence also has to be loaded by a human. So, I mean, only joking. You guys love this chat. Okay, Alan. Well, I'm glad you love the chat, but you didn't need to say that to get attention, I'm hollering up all of y'all. I'm catching every one. I'm so glad you love it. Thanks, David. I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate the support. You guys all seriously totally rock. Artificial intelligence is a little bit scary, absolutely, especially if, you know, you think about those movies where they could malfunction and turn on you and all that kind of stuff. I mean, how realistic is that? Could that possibly happen? You know, I mean, it is a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie. Can't. What the fiddle are you talking about? You're totally in the wrong chat. What the heck is SXC? Is that supposed to mean something or something? Like, what is that? Oh, you're funny. Okay, well, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, no doubt. That's a little bit weird, hey? B, I totally agree. How there are how the is blown up dolls. Jeez. Oh, too funny. Yeah, we were talking about the rapist, the NorCal rapist that just recently was arrested in September 2018. So, but yeah, we are talking about that rapist, and I thought this was Single Saturday. No, you must have the wrong creator. Oh boy. Too funny. Seriously. Thanks for the chuckle, though. Cut the rape chat business, please. Yeah. Well, Chico, you know what? I think it's so freaking awesome that this guy was able to be caught. You know, he had sort of committed his crimes in this chunk of time from 1991 to 2006. And then all of a sudden in 2018, he's being arrested for these crimes. And I'm just like, I'm applauding law enforcement. I'm applauding these, you know, ancestry genealogical sites for pooling together and taking all 929,000 freaking DNA samples, guys, and, you know, combating the bad guy with it. Like, I mean, that's genius. I'm just like, wow, whoever thought of that should just be sipping on mojitos in a beach frontal. Like, seriously, they certainly did one heck of a job here. That's amazing, you know? But yeah, definitely it's crazy, you know? He stopped raping people in 2006 and just carried on about his life all the way up until 2018 when bam, he's being matched up to these crimes, you know? And I'm sure that it's validated that he lived there or around there, and you know, I mean, how do you sleep at night, buddy? How do you go through life knowing that you traumatized like a dozen women through your past and forced yourself on them, you know, using weapons, absolutely terrifying in the middle of the night, you know, to have to go through what he did. And then he just carries on like, oh my gosh, unbelievable. Who cares? I'm just beside myself, you know, like I've said it before. Hi, surfing is my thing. It's so cool. I'm from Canada. But I mean, it's shocking that he thought that he just kind of got away with that, right? And I mean, he did technically to the human race for quite a long time. He got away with these crimes. But God knew the whole time that what this guy did wrong, you know, and now he's going to be paying for it. So like, I'm just like, thank you, Lord, you know, seriously. And to think I wanted to be one of those things when I grew up. One of what things? What are you talking about, Lisa? Oh, therapist? Yeesh. Yeah, I never put those two together before, Amy. Interesting. Interesting. God bless the West. God bless everybody, I say. You know, really. He thought he could get away with it, I guess. Isn't going to be forever, though. I'm like, kudos to law enforcement. And just whoever really thought of that idea, like, kudos to them, too, you know? He sent in his own DNA. Yeah, exactly. Like, seriously. Well, and he's apparently been getting quite a lot of threats and stuff too. He's already been moved around quite a bit. So, you know, of course they have to by law protect him in a way. But I mean, hey, if something's going to happen to him, something's going to happen to him, you know? And it might just have to be that jailhouse justice that's, you know, whatever, shows him what that's like. I don't know. That's not really for me to decide. That's for God. It's his picture, right? It's his mushroom. That's how I see that. Maybe they'll send him to be roomies with Watts. Well, for sure nothing bad will happen to him then. What do you mean, Lisa? Please explain further. What do you mean? Do I watch movies? Yeah, I watch movies. I haven't gone to the theater in a really long time, but it's something I'd like to do. What, yeah, Lisa, what do you mean? Like, that's why God created the word oops. What do you mean? If something's going to happen, it's going to happen. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. What are your thoughts on the Stephen Avery? I believe that Stephen Avery is not guilty. I believe that Kathleen Zellner will successfully exonerate him. And I believe that she wouldn't have even taken the case if she thought that she couldn't sort of win against, you know, against the state for what they've done to him, you know? I believe that his history and his negativity towards animals and his past and stuff is true, but I believe that that stemmed from his childhood. I don't believe that he came out of jail after being locked up for 18 years for a rape that he did not commit, by the way. He lost 18 years of his life the first roundabout, and it was discovered that he had done some animal abuse, you know, to the farm cat or something. And like, I don't think that any of that's okay, but I mean, he's also admitted to it and stuff. Like, anytime he sort of did anything wrong as a youth offender and stuff, he admitted to it, he paid his fine, he moved on. But after he was exonerated on the DNA testing that got him out of jail for the 18 years that he was behind bars for that, he had taken out a $36 million lawsuit on the county at that point. And it was at that point that he was later then, in my view, framed. And, you know, the law enforcement officials sort of used Teresa Halbeck's murder, which I strongly actually think it's maybe Bobby Dassey that's the guilty person here. But I'm also anxious to see, like, whose bones these are that was returned to the family. Do they even have the right, you know, family member victim, or is she still laying out there somewhere and stuff like this? Like, they kind of really, I guess they thought they'd be able to get away with this or whatever. And they really didn't want to have to, you know, pay this $36 million. And it's been found out since that lawsuit was settled for a measly $400,000. And, you know, he was sitting in jail when all of that went through. So I believe that some of those were used, some of those proceeds were probably used to acquire Kathleen Zellner as his, new lawyer, and like a very smart move, I might add. And he'd be smart to be reading up on his rights and studying his case and figuring out, anything that he can do to help to get himself out. I mean, the whole man's life has been completely wasted behind bars for stuff that he didn't seem to be to do wrong. That's wrong on every single level. And shame on the people who, didn't want to have to deal with the freaking lawsuit, the $36 million. Just wait until this one goes through. I bet you it's going to be for 10 times that. You're like, seriously. And I can live in Canada and say these things, not worry about repercussion. No, but for real though, like the law enforcement officials and all the people that worked on that case from the get-go of when Teresa Halbach died, they didn't really handle that very gracefully, in my opinion. And they kind of like it's an injustice to Teresa Halbach and her family that, her bones were potentially spread all over the place or whatever actually happened that created for it to look like it was Stephen Avery. I hope that they're able to disprove and get him out. I don't think Kathleen Zellner would have taken the case if she thought he was guilty. I believe she's done her due diligence and her research, and she can see, just like plain and simple, we can see that some things were not necessarily handled properly, And that's sad that there's things like that are happening. I know that there's things like that happen here in Canada too, but I mean, we're talking about Stephen Avery's. It's been all over Netflix. It's The Making of a Murderer. I mean, everybody that has watched that here too. You've been pen pals with Stephen? No way. That's so cool. I don't think that his past and his history is very great, but those were his choices, and I believe he sort of paid for them by now. I mean, honestly. And I mean, how can you ignore the fact that Bobby Dassey has all these heinous hours and hours and hours, hundreds of hours of heinous rape and mutilation and all kinds of disgusting, disturbing photos and videos and all kinds of crap that this kid was looking at? I kind of feel like it's him. They shared the property together. He was there and around the same time that Teresa Halbach showed up to do some photos of the vehicles and stuff for Stephen. It was a relationship that had already been developed at that point, professionally, I mean. And regardless if he had a little bit of a crush or a thing for her, I don't see him as doing this. I really don't see it. Like, and the amount of evidence that they had against him for it that isn't lining up, you guys, is profound. So I really want to see the DNA testing of the bones that they gave back to the Halbach family. And I want to see I want to see the prosecution argue as to whether or not the blood that was on the inside of the vehicle, okay, right near the key ignition, like there was a smear there and stuff, and it was too far away from where the ignition was for somebody's hand to actually, touch that. But there was also blood spots in and around, the vehicles and stuff. There's a lot of evidence that is questionable. So, love me or hate me, but I actually think that Stephen Avery he's not guilty. And I think he's been wrongfully convicted a second time because of everything that happened the first time. So love me or hate me, it's the truth. I honestly think that Kathleen Zellner is a beast. She's a freaking judicial beast that, like, good luck is all I need to say, because I think she's got this in the bag, And then what's going to happen though, right? Is it's going to have a domino effect, and it's going to affect everybody that was involved in this situation. And like I said before, you might be able to fool your fellow human for a while. You might be able to fool law enforcement. You might be able to fool the public. You might be able to fool the judges or the cops or the lawyers or whoever for a while. But if you are in a position of power, I mean, you really, if you are taking advantage of that, should be worried. Not about the fellow humans and the fellow whatever repercussions that are coming. You should be worried about the one person who has authority to judge each and every one of us, and that's God. Like, I would be shitting bricks right now if I was part of any of this crap that, you know, mishandled anybody's remains and kind of like coerced and you know, dirtily made this happen because they didn't want to face the music on something they did wrong, you know, previously. I mean, it just doesn't even make any sense as to why they thought this was a good idea. But you might be able to get away with it for a while, but eventually shit's going to catch up with you. You know, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are a police officer or if you are a lawyer or if you are a judge or if you are even heavier than that. It doesn't matter. The one judge that can see everything, literally everything, you don't even need to say it. He knows what's in your mind. He knows what you've done. It's in your heart. He knows you, is God. So, I mean, good luck if you're somebody that's going through life, you know, wrongfully doing things and going about abusing your position of power, because, like, shame on you for that, for real. And it happens everywhere, right? It's not just the US, it's Canada, it's everywhere. It's Australia, it's the UK, it's everywhere. There's good and bad in everything and everywhere. But, you know, shame on those people that are actually going about living life like that, eating steaks for dinner and sleeping in king-size beds, you know? Preach, Sherry. I believe in the truth, you guys. And I think that Kathleen Zellner would not have taken this case if she thought that Stephen Avery was guilty. And I think that she's done her due diligence, and the arguments that I see coming from her certainly have caught my attention to make me think that he was wrongfully convicted, not once, but twice. And that's just really sad for the officials and everybody that was involved that had their hands in on this, you know, and nobody stopped it and whatever, you know. They're all to blame, and that's really sad and shitty. And, you know, one day they're going to have to face the music. One day, like, everything's going to kind of come out. You guys can see that happening, right? With the celebrity world and all of the Me Too and the, you know, movements and stuff like that, where bad things that have happened, it doesn't really matter what position you're in. Like, the truth is going to eventually come out. So, you know, like, I don't know why people do this, but I guess that's the evil in the world. And I won't really ever understand what benefit there is to harming someone, or, you know, all of the heinous, brutal, evil things that are in the world. What benefit does it really freaking have in your life to wreak havoc on someone else's life? I don't see what benefit it brings, in all honesty. Like I said, I think the devil fooled a lot of these people too. Like, oh, you got away with it. Ha ha ha. And then now, ha ha ha, things are coming to light and nobody wants anybody to talk about it. Everybody wants to sweep everything under the rug. Meanwhile, there needs to be held some accountability here. And, you know, this man's entire fucking life was taken away. He has no kids. You know, he's had no chance at free life, in a sense. Like, so he made some mistakes when he was a kid, and, you know, he's done some wrong things or whatever through his life. Who hasn't, right? But to put the man away for the rest of his life, like he has been, just treated like a dog, while everybody else is out having steak dinners and ballroom dances and galas and whatever kind of events that you guys are orchestrating together with, you know, the officials that were involved in this. Like, how do you sleep at night? I don't get it. Yeah, I did hear about I didn't hear about the smoothie blender, but I did hear something about a cat and stuff. I mean, and that's brutal. But as I said, I think that was something that happened when he was a kid. And I mean, the guy was already in jail for like 18 years before the rape charge was exonerated. The DNA was proven not to be his. So, you know, all because they were kind of in trouble for that, which was already done and over with. All they had to do was go through the lawsuit because, you know, in all honesty, it was all over with. But then they redid it again to try to do it even worse this time. Like, I mean, I don't understand the mentality of the officials at all in this. So, are them roses fake? Oh, my investigation continues. You think? They're so beautiful, aren't they? Hi, John Taylor. She may be talking the case because she can win, not that he is not guilty. No, I think there's no way that she would have taken this case if Stephen Avery was guilty, Chica. I feel like she knows that he's not guilty and she's able to exonerate him. You also want a TGIS wine glass. Well, that would be really cool. I don't know if I'll have to figure out that. I'm still in the process of trying to get the cartoon character made to look exactly like me. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of time, but I guess it's something I'm being really picky about as well. I want it to look just right. I want it to be perfect, and I'm not really sure how perfect it is. How about if I show you guys and you guys tell me? Well, I'll show you the rough draft of what I've been shown, kind of thing. And then you can tell me what you think of it. I can't take the grids off, but focus. But you see how, like, oh my God, I hate this fucking camera sometimes. Excuse my language. Come on, bitch. There. Thank you. Okay, so there you go. That's the rough draft version. Yeah, like I kind of need to fix a couple things still and stuff. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Thanks for the heads up. Totally didn't notice. You loved it, Heather? Yeah, my friend said the same thing, that it looks really cool and stuff, but I don't know. I'm so picky, I guess, you know, like I really want this to work out. Like here's the cartoon version of the one that I created on just like the emoji. And then you can see the other one. Of course, I can't stop moving my hand. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what would you change on the TGIS one, the one that has the logo? What would you change on that? I'm shaking a lot. David, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm trying to hold the damn camera up as I'm breathing and talking. Like, you're an idiot. Seriously. Goodbye. Hide this user. I don't need that crap. Get the fuck out of here. Dumbass. Sorry, guys, but I'm not going to hold up. You know, I'm not going to hold it back either. Dumbass. An idiot. The one with more hair resembles me. Okay, so but like my question was like, what if anything would you change to make that look more like me? That's what I was more asking. Can we discuss all these crime things on YouTube? I mean, is it legal? Of course we can. Absolutely we can. Freedom of speech is legal everywhere. So yes, it's legal to discuss. Hey Chris, how are you? Somewhere between the two. Maybe red lips, you're thinking, maybe? I don't know. I feel like there's something wrong with the face or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm just being too picky or something, you know? Maybe like you're thinking the TGIS bubble. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. Or like the bubble, like you're saying it. You know what I mean? That bubble of like that. That I had definitely thought of that as well. But I was more curious with, is there any part of the face that, you know, could be altered to look more like me, you know? Like I want people to look at it and know automatically, if they have seen me, that they know that that version of me, that's my cartoon character. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. TGIS needs to be above me. Yeah, like that's totally what I was thinking too. Definitely. To think this a smile would be good. Okay. Yeah, that's probably true, eh? Definitely the red lips. Interesting. Okay. Needs a big smile, yeah. I know, right? Because I have such a wide mouth. You know, and so I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out is, does it even really totally look like me, you know? Before I approve and say, yes, that's it. You got it. This is totally the look of me, you know? But it is a work in progress, she says right now, so you all love my laugh. Thank you. Red lips in the coffee mug. See, like, I don't know if she's able to do all that. I had thought about having a hand or something, but hands are often really difficult to cartoonize, if you know what I mean. You know, the hands, even just on a portrait and stuff, are really difficult. So, yeah, I don't know, you know. I'm being really, really picky though. I know that. I'm sure she senses it too. Cause I'm just like, I don't know if this is right yet. I'm like, what about the hair? Could you just move this a little bit like this? Like the bangs were over too much on my forehead. I'm like, I don't even have bangs. Like, come on, work with me. But you know, she's also like really far away too. So trying to sort of get in line exactly what we mean in emails is really difficult. So, hey, shady lady. Love you too, darling. Mwah. You didn't have to retract your message, Mr. Singh. Oh, my back, you guys. Oh, okay, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Let's go to the washroom quickly. Oh, let's see. Hey, Noodles is back. How's it going? Granny Doe, how's it going, honey? Anonymous, 1234. Hello, hello. We've got some newbies in here. What's up, folks? You have to run, Heather? Okay, honey. Thank you for another amazing live, Mrs. I hope you have such a beautiful day, and much, much love to you all. Much love to you, darling. Thank you for your support. Or me? Or you mean Amy, probably. Yeah. Larger facial features, Granny Doe says. Interesting. Maybe that nice whistle, right? Maybe that's what's bugging me or something. I don't know what it is. But I'm being super picky about it. I know that. Hello, Christiana Beard. Welcome, welcome. Oh, what do I know about India? I certainly don't know a lot about India, so feel free to share. How about that? Yeah, the red too, you're thinking? John Taylor says, did you hear about the 16-year-old lad in the UK raped and killed? I think she was 6 or 7 years old, and he got sentenced to 27 years in prison. No, only 6 months. He has appealed to his jail time. What? No. Well, that'll obviously get denied, right? Noodles, where have you been? You've been gone for so long. Like, where have you been? Granny Doe, you're pretty good. You make it in pretty frequently. Well, this is live right now, Granny Doe. You made it. For real though, you made it. Last year, PM Trudeau made a visit to India. Really cool. That's so neat that our Prime Minister made a visit to India. I didn't block you. Well, did you say something inappropriate? I don't think I blocked you because I just finished unblocking a bunch, so I'm not sure. I didn't see you in there, dude. I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, for crying out loud. Welcoming all. If you like spending time here, you can throw up a like sign. I appreciate the support for sure. Hit that like button. Whoop, whoop. Can you swear on this channel? Well, you know, there's a time and a place for it. Like, you just have some idiot troll that comes around and tries to freaking say something stupid. Then sometimes it accidentally just comes out a little bit too quick. But I generally try to have a fairly clean show here so that some of the people on my channel that have kids that are listening, in the background or whatever, they don't necessarily need to hear the F-bomb this and F-bomb that, right? So if there's a reason for it, yeah, but if it's just out of nowhere for nothing, I don't know, like if you're using it against someone else, it's kind of also a taboo thing. I must have been blocked. It was one of the live streams when you guys were drinking a lot of wine. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I don't know what happened. I cannot remember, so we'll just leave it at that. Hey, Shaylee. How are you, honey? I said your name right. For once. Oh, boy. Yummy. What are you grabbing, chica? Red or white? Yes, Miss Shaylee. I would have never thought that the COELI would be said like that. That's super cool. Red, very nice. Just getting out of the mountains. Nice, very cool. Should be the best way for government to ensure the safety of criminals. Sorry, what does the ACC mean? It's Italian. Beautiful. Ah. Latin pronunciation. So pretty. Seriously. I would have never, ever thought that, though, you know, had you not have told me. What, according to you, should be the best way for a government to ensure the safety of women from such criminals? Well, I believe punishing them when something bad happens is the right thing to do. I don't think that you need to, like, I mean, there's certain countries that take it sort of upon themselves to administer whatever punishment they feel is appropriate. I think that's like barbaric. That's like old biblical times, eye for an eye, you know, but I don't really see it like that. I see it more as letting the God be the judge and letting the judicial system. So if you have a court of law that, you know, judges and lawyers, you know, are present, I don't know if does India have that? Because I don't actually know. It's never something I've ever looked up. I don't know if you guys have a court of, you know, Queen's Bench or something. I have no idea about that from your country. Maybe you can enlighten me and tell me how exactly that is, how it's ran over there. But I definitely disagree with humans taking it upon themselves to administer punishments to other humans. I think that, you know, if somebody does something wrong and it's illegal, then they should go to jail, serve their time and punishment. And if they've done something horribly wrong, like killing somebody, then maybe they should never be back allowed out with with public again. You know what I mean? So that's how I see that anyways. 11,000 feet. Wow, that is so cool, Miss Shaylee. So cool. Troll off. That's a good one. Shady lady, I love that. That's awesome. You love your Lambrusco. Italian wine, red wine. Nice. I'm still on coffee. I'll hit the wine later. But do enjoy. Will you see Avengers Endgame? Is that a movie, or is that a movie that's maybe one of those superhero type movies, you know? Hitting Wonder late too. What's Wonder? Oh, wine. Oh, very cool. We should have a girls' night again. Yes, that would be so much fun. I totally agree. Totally agree. You hate wine? Well, it's not for everybody. You're in, Amy? Yeah, I'll definitely keep it in mind, guys. I don't see why not, right? Girls should be trained a lot in self-defense course to protect themselves from such beasts. That is true, too. You know, if you have a way to be able to learn self-defense to protect yourself, that's very important, you know? can never be too careful these days. That's how I see it. And things have sort of steadily just gotten worse, I think, all around the whole world, you know. If Lisa had a wrench right now, she'd be licking it. I've gotten older a bit. I'm a bit weaker. Yeah, I think that's natural, though. Most people, that happens to, you know. Can I borrow your wrench, right? Right. Carry a big gun. Yes, exactly. So Mr. Waller remains in Sacramento County, Maine jail, and his next court appearance is May 31st. And there's a preliminary hearing that's scheduled for June 26th. What a douchebag, for real, though. For real. From 6 different counties, 25 years. Oh my goodness, like seriously. Lady, I used to think I'm coping, but fighting it without medication is hard. Your channel seeing you keep partially sane. I'm crying inside, but being strong also. Yeah, Shady Lady, that's I think that's how a lot of us depressed people sort of deal with life, you know. The medication just makes it a little bit easier. Sorry, I'm first time visiting your show. Are you a novelist or a solicitor? I'm just looking in trying work out what's going on. What? that whole sentence didn't entirely make sense. But you know, I would just like to think of myself as somebody that's spreading awareness on various, you know, crimes and safety tips, and spreading awareness on stories that have happened from all around the world. So I like true stories, you know what I mean? That it's actually something that's happened to somebody, or, you know, involving a bunch of people. You know, like the flood that I brought up, it literally affected, like, you know, 28,000 people that were evacuated and stuff like that. Like, I mean, the true stories that I bring you guys, I think are awesome conversational pieces, you know? Anonymous 1234, you are just taking Lisa's sense of humor and putting some kind of a serious twist on it. Please don't. We enjoy each other's company here, and we know how we joke around and stuff like that. I get that you're new, so you're trying to figure out, but this is not some weird group. We are all very normal here, and we love to discuss true crime, true stories, true missing people, true survivors, true natural disasters, anything truthful, including our own experiences and stuff. So I definitely, you know, encourage you to come and, you know, hang out a bit and stuff, get to know people, but please don't take things too seriously, especially about about that. Who you calling normal? Oh boy. Yes, you are entitled to Yes, you're entitled to your opinion and you're entitled to hate guns. I believe they can be used, very safely as long as you are taught, the pros and cons and how to use it and everything. It can be quite a good tool, but we have different laws here. After all. Oh, yeah. Well, we've sort of made it to our ending time. Just being silly, but we'll definitely have to get together for a drink sometime soon. That would be lovely, folks. I would love to hang out with you and get in some good laughs and chat. But I love all of you guys. I think we're going to wrap this up. I think we're kind of pretty much done chit-chatting and stuff. Yeah, it would be fun, Miss Shaylee. Yes, I think that's something that we will put on the agenda for the very near future and spend some time together and have some good laughs. So stay tuned for that announcement. I'll put it up when I decide to do that. And if you guys thought that this was kind of a really fun, interactive conversation time, throw up a like sign. If you enjoyed the chatting, if you enjoyed spending time here listening in, throw up a like sign. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of interactive conversations around here. So everybody is welcome and everybody is allowed to speak their mind. Whether or not we all disagree or agree is totally a different story. But as long as we can respect each other, we can have some fun discussing things, looking at it from different perspectives, hearing various opinions, and, just having some fun together, learning different knowledge, right? So, yeah, I love all of you guys, and I thank you all for joining on a regular basis. I appreciate and love all of you. So we're going to continue to have a positive rest of the day, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your TGIS. It's Saturday, right? But yes, I love you guys, and I'll see you again on Tuesday for our next live, 2 p.m. Daylight savings time. I will get that right one day. I'll remember to switch things over one day. And yeah, much love. I really appreciate all of you guys taking a minute out to come and hang out and put up some comments, enjoy some laughs, and spend some time together. So much love. I hope you guys all come back, Christiana, and thank you for joining. Love you guys. Stay safe out there, and we will see you again soon for another true story with me, Sherry Wiens. Bye for now, folks.